daily soccer podcast with the Global Sports Podcast Network.
Welcome back to GSPN Fridays. My name's Kate. I'm your host for this morning's podcast on Friday, September the 12th. And the Premier League, it's well and truly back, isn't it? Thank goodness. How do we survive during the international break? It's so boring, isn't it? Unless you're a kind of diehard England fan. Personally, I'll admit to you, right? I don't follow them necessarily when they're doing their World Cup qualifiers. Bores me a little bit, to be honest with you, but I'll probably get interested around about the World Cup stage, providing we qualify, which is looking like we're going to. But anyway, welcome back. So the Premier League is just around the corner. It's back again, thank goodness. And I'm just going to go with some fresh news, injury updates, a couple of key fixtures that could start to define the season this morning. So let's get into it, shall we? So first up, going to go with Andre Onana. He's finally left Man United for a loan move to Trabzonspor. Okay, so that is a Turkish club, I do believe. And with United really having signed Sen Lamens, Onana was pretty much squeezed, wasn't he? He wasn't going to get a lot of game time. So that is good. Good for him. Let's face it, he only started once this season, so he's probably glad of the move. And let's face it, the weather in Turkey is a lot better than it is in the UK. Over at Chelsea, summer signing Dario Asugo. He's likely out until 2026, can you believe? After a thigh injury he suffered on international duty playing in an under 21 for Portugal. So that is a major blow for their squad depth, isn't it? With Asugo being out. He plays in the midfield, showing a lot of promise this season, and came from La Liga. Bit of a shame for Chelsea. They're doing so well at the moment. I do think they've got enough squad depth to for it not to be a massive blow. But let's face it, anybody out is a blow, isn't it? To the depth of your squad. So he's going to be out until 2026. And Man City, well, their injury list has just taken another hit. Marmoush, the guy with a great name. What a great name that is, Omar Marmoush. He's going to miss the upcoming Man City, or Manchester derby, I should say, after he picked up a knee injury on international duty too. So one down for Man City. That's going to be an interesting game, that, isn't it, this weekend? And it's good news for Liverpool. Right, Jeremy Frimpong is back in full training, and that's ahead of their match v Burnley this weekend, which kind of eases one defensive concern for them, doesn't it? Meanwhile, Alexander Isak's readiness remains uncertain. Apparently, fitness is still a question mark, which kind of makes you think, or makes you wonder what he's been doing all summer. And the extended summer break he had off when he was at Newcastle, right? So that's your injury news ahead of this weekend. So let's take a look at where things actually stand then, not where the pundits hope they would be, or fans hope they'd be, to be honest with you, talking as a Leeds fan. So here's how the table is looking after 3 matches. Liverpool at the top with 9 points. We've got Chelsea, Arsenal, Spurs, Everton and Sunderland rounding off the top 6. Whoever thought at the beginning of the season that Everton will be sitting in 5th place? Certainly not me. Good for them. What can I say? I'm a little bit miffed that Leeds didn't go for someone like Grealish, to be honest with you. But there you go. So pretty good start, and pretty good start for Sunderland as well, nestled in 6th place there. Reggie Labrie doing a great job over there. And other than that, the top 3, as you probably would expect. So focusing on the promoted sides then, Sunderland, 2 wins, 1 loss, plus 2 goal difference and 6 points. I think think that's pretty good going, to be honest with you. Best of 3 so far, of course. They've looked pretty solid, and their defensive work in particular has been better than some expected. So, Reggie Labrie doing a great job over there at the moment. Of course, we're only 3 games in, aren't we? So let's not get ahead of ourselves. But, and I like Sunderland as well. I know I kind of shouldn't. In the world of football, you're supposed to kind of hate your enemies, aren't you? But I don't. I like Sunderland. Leeds, what can I say? They're on 4 points. They've won 1, drawn 1, lost 1. But the goal difference, that is a problem, isn't it? We've got no goals. We're not scoring anything. Quite frankly, I don't know where the goals are coming from because we haven't got a number 10. As you probably heard me rant on Wednesday, the transfer window was woeful for Leeds. And I do not hold out much hope, to be honest. They won their opener against Everton, didn't they? And then, they got hammered at Arsenal. 5-0, that was a disgrace. And then they drew at Newcastle. What an absolutely boring piece of... how can I put it? Bit of rubbish. Let's call it rubbish. That was just boring match. Even Newcastle fans thought it was appalling. So it's been a mixed bag, no consistency. It was interesting on Wednesday. Nick brought up the subject of Daniel Farke not being cut out for the Premier League. Now, when he first got the job, he was promised that if he took Leeds up to the Premier League, he would get given a good shot at managing them in the Premier League. But I'll tell you what, if this form continues and they slip further down the table, they're in 12th at the moment. Could be worse, we could be Wolves in 20. But if they start slipping any more down the table, Farke's a goner. And I think he should be. I don't think he's cut out for it. But then again, has he had the backing of the club? I don't think he has. Personally. But anyway, I won't focus too much on Leeds as much as I'd like to. And then, of course, we've got Burnley, the other promoted side. 3 points. They're sitting now in 14th place, 2 behind Leeds, 1 behind Man City as well. They're having a bit of a shocker at the moment, aren't they? Burnley, goal difference around -2. They've had 1 good result and 2 losses. It's not disastrous, but, definite warning signs, especially in defence. And again, you've got to think about the manager. Is Scott Parker cut out for the Prem? Daniel Farke and Scott Parker have both shown that they can get clubs promoted. It's just solidifying their performance in the Premier League, which is seemingly kind of called into question. So interesting. Watch this space, as I'm sure you and I will be. It basically tells us that the promoted teams, they haven't collapsed, have they? But none of them have done anything comfortably yet. Both Burnley and Leeds are where we're getting the goals from. This is what I want to know. Sunderland have the momentum. Leeds really are under pressure to tighten up. I mean, their player ratings for the last couple of games have been woeful. Quite frankly, why on earth we've got back Jack Harrison and Dominic Calvert-Lewin, I will never know. But anyway, Burnley also need to string results and performances together because at the moment they are not in a good place. Not quite on life support yet, both those two teams, but not far away. And, with the transfer window closed, squad depth, injury management and consistency, basically, those factors are going to separate the teams from those who survive this season, those who thrive, obviously, and those who struggle. Big signings are great, but now the real test begins. Avoiding slip-ups against teams that you really should be beating. In Leeds' case, keeping your back line strong and disciplined, and rotating when needed, really. And in the case of, particularly Leeds with Calvert-Lewin, minimising casualties. The Global Sports Podcast Network has partnered with Bionique, the world's most personalised supplements, because your body is unique. Because without knowing exactly what your body needs, taking off-the-shelf supplements means you're probably not getting enough of the nutrients you do need, and maybe too much of the nutrients you don't. Bionique provides 100% tailor-made supplements designed to deliver precisely what your body needs at exactly the right levels. no guessing. Click on the show notes for more details and use the code GSPN 2025 for 40% off your first order.
Your daily soccer podcast with the Global Sports Podcast Network.
So welcome back to this Friday's edition of the GSPN podcast. Kate here, Leeds fan. Tragic Leeds fan, I think is the case. But hey, we're going to have a look now at the injury and the doubt for players this weekend. Pretty mixed bag, to be honest with you. Leeds have a pretty long list of doubts. Unfortunately, we've got Ethan Ampadu, who is doubtful because of a knee injury. Same with Ayo Tanaka. Gabriel Goodmanson. Gosh, I can never say his name. Also, he's had a knock. Lucas Perry, his quad, and Lucas Nemecha, his foot, and Joel Pirro with a calf injury, possible calf injury. So basically, that's half the team, isn't it? And we play Fulham away tomorrow. Oh my goodness, not looking great, is it? Arsenal definitely are going to be without Kai Havertz and Gabriel Jesus for their home game against Nottingham. And those are both knee injuries. Chelsea's Romeo Lavia and Benoit Badiashile they're also close to returning, but not sure whether they're going to start. All right. Dario Sugo, as I just mentioned at the beginning of the pod, is out long term. Reece James, he might be back. He did have a bit of an injury last time out, but I think he is training with the team and he might be back as well. Man City's injury list woes are stacking up. Poor old Pepe, languishing in 13th in the table. Gosh, never thought I'd say that. Who we got? Oh yeah, Omar Marmoush, definitely out for the derby. And others like Ryan Cherky and Kovacic are still unavailable. So these injuries can basically swing results, can't they? Especially in tight matches or when squads are tested and stretched. So that's going to be an interesting one, that Manchester derby this weekend. So let's have a little look at the fixtures this weekend and my predictions. I love doing this bit, but we seem to have a little bit of inconsistency, don't we? So basically, with the international break. So let's see if I can give you my predictions and follow them up next Friday with the results. That would be great. So let's have a look. We've got kicking off at 12:30 tomorrow afternoon. We've got Arsenal and Notts Forest. Forest, of course, under new management with Ange and his backroom team taking over from Nuno. Arsenal obviously are going to be missing Havertz and Jesus. Is that going to be enough to pose any problems for them? I don't know, to be honest with you. I doubt it, given that kind of Forest are in a bit of a state of flux at the moment. I'm going to go 2-0 to Arsenal tomorrow. I think they've still got more than enough at home to beat Forest. The next match, we've got Bournemouth and Brighton. I'm going to go with Brighton for this, for an away win. You know, I think I'm actually going to go 1-0. I think more composure generally on the pitch, and they generally make fewer defensive errors than Bournemouth at the moment, who are, where are they sitting? I'm just trying to have a look. They are sitting, the 7th. Yeah, so you wouldn't think that, but you know, what happens, the way they're playing, I just think they're more composed. So they should beat Bournemouth tomorrow. Palace and Sunderland. I'm going to go 1-1. I do think that Sunderland's energy is going to give them enough to hold Palace to a draw, even at home. So that's going to be one to watch. Everton Villa. Now, I don't know. I'm going to go Everton with this. I think they're on a bit of a roll at the moment. Villa, they still really haven't got out the starting blocks, have they? They're in 19th on 1 point. Not doing great. Is the era of Unai Emery coming to a conclusion? I hope not. because I think he's a great manager. But, everything comes and goes, doesn't it? Everything has a shelf life. Is this his? I don't know. I'm going to go 2-1 to Everton on Saturday for that one. And then we've got Fulham and Leeds. I mean, I'm going to go 1-0 to Fulham, if not more. To be honest, I just think Leeds' back line is appalling at the moment. And they've got quite a few injury doubts, haven't they? And they're just not great away from home. I think they're pretty poor at the moment. So gives me no pleasure in saying that. But, I think Fulham are going to do that. 1-0 to Fulham on Saturday. Newcastle and Wolves. I think, Wolves struggle away, don't they? And I think Newcastle, now that the whole Isak thing has been put to bed, I think they've probably had a couple of weeks of proper training, time to refocus, regroup, and it is at St James's Park, isn't it? I think that is going to be a win for the Toon. 2-0 to them. The Hammers and Spurs. Well, I don't know. Hammers pulled it out the bag, didn't they, against Forest, and that was an away win for West Ham. Was that to do with the Nuno effect and this kind of unrest and disquiet at the club? I don't know. But this is a difficult one to call. I might go for a draw on this one. I'm going to go 2-2. 2-2 Hammers Spurs at home to West Ham. Brentford Chelsea. Yeah, Chelsea. Definitely for me. Brentford are playing, quite gutsy at the moment, but I think Chelsea's depth and their attacking options, despite the odd injury, are going to play out at the end of the day. Burnley-Liverpool on Sunday. I'm going to go, obviously, it's going to be a 2-0 win to Liverpool away from home. Burnley, as always, are going to put a good fight up, but I think the class of Liverpool is just going to overwhelm them, and it's going to be a comfortable Liverpool win. And Man City v Man United. This should be a walk in the park for City if they were firing on all cylinders, but they're not. So I'm going to say 2-2. It's going to be a derby. It's going to be chaotic. But City are without Marmoush, aren't they? And others. United are going to test them, but they're not going to take full control. So 2-2 from me for the Manchester derby. Okay, so that is your snapshot for Match Week 4. Key games, injury chaos, surprises brewing. Watch how Leeds cope, or don't. I'd suggest don't. See if Arsenal can cope without their usual firepower, and whether City's injury crisis is going to bite them in a massive game this week against United. Next Friday on GSPN, we'll break it all down. What worked, what didn't, who rose up and who's limping already. Plus, I'll have an updated injury list and maybe some unexpected stories. Enjoy the matches, soak in the drama. We'll catch you next week for the fallout.
Your daily soccer podcast with the Global Sports Podcast Network.